I get those goosebumps every time you are around. I fear for my life because you're wearing a clown costume. You are scary, especially when there's two of you. I get them goosebumps every time. What's up, everybody? Here's part 2 of Chief and Deputy Chief ruin man's life over ID. So if you haven't seen part 1, go watch part 1. This is going to be part 2. Part 1 will be in the description. This is Monte. He was playing basketball. Somebody called the cops on him. A former cop actually probably called the cops on him. Another cop shows up who's a deputy chief. He wants ID. He believes that people have to surrender their Fourth Amendment right at the whim of a costume gunman named police officers, hashtag donut operators. That's not true. You have to be committing some type of infraction in order to have to surrender your Fourth Amendment right, which is what giving ID is. And no one should voluntarily give up their right to privacy. As a matter of fact, if you're a real American, you should be offended that a cop wants to know who your first and last name and where you live and can look up who your whole family is. That's the last thing you should want. That should be an offensive question when a cop asks you for ID when you're not doing anything wrong. If you're not offended, you're part of the problem. So here we go, part 2. They already taken him out of the car, beaten him, electrocuted him, cussed him out, throw him in the back of the car for no law broken at all. So here's part 2. I'm going to be interrupting. If you don't want to hear me, go watch the original that's in the description.
I hope he didn't do all that stupid shit over a fucking dugout.
I hope he didn't do all that stupid shit over a dugout. So they found a cigar and a dugout in his car. And he says, I hope he didn't do all that stupid. What stupid shit? He was in his car trying to leave, not breaking any laws. The only stupid shit happening in this video is from you two donut operators.
Oh yeah, he's got weed, so I'm going to charge him with that.
I'm going to charge him for a plant because I'm a coward because he wouldn't surrender his Fourth Amendment right to me when he didn't have to.
Resisting.
Charge him with resisting after I beat his ass, kicked him, and electrocuted him.
4894, 1041. Yeah, I appreciate it. 4894. Thank you, I appreciate it. I can't get anything out of that. What is he doing?
This Esquire Audits puts, the superior finally asked, so what was he doing when you first got here? Only Chief McGuire had exercised his superior supervisory and oversight duties before participating in tasing, battering, and arresting an innocent man.
Huh? What was he doing when you first got here? So he was trying to leave, and I let him up, and I got out.
He was trying to leave, which would have avoided all this because he wasn't doing anything wrong. So what if he's trying to leave? Is that illegal? So I lit him up because he was trying to leave, you know, because I got a call from a former cop who turns out to be a pedophile.
Gave him my name and asked him for his ID, and he said, why? I said, well, I'll be honest with you. I've been called here for suspicious activity on you. And he goes, I ain't got to tell you anything. So actually,
which is 100% true.
In Indiana, you do. And so he just started ramping up.
And I said, yeah, you do. And I showed him by electrocuting him and helping me beat him. That's how we did him. He didn't resist at all. And I thought I had a good fight on my hands.
And he's on something. He ain't on this.
Everett keeps claiming Monte is on something, but despite thoroughly searching the truck, Monte's person, they never find what he's quote-unquote on. Because it turns out he wasn't quote-unquote on anything after all. The only thing somebody was on is cream-filled donut filling and ego.
This is not what he's on. He's on something else.
Alexandria 41.
If this video shows you anything, is that police absolutely despise the Fourth Amendment and your right to privacy. This whole thing is because Monte wouldn't surrender his right to privacy on demand to a guy he doesn't have to give it to by law. But the guy seems, and most cops coast to coast believe that you don't have a Fourth Amendment, and that giving up ID is not a violation of the Fourth Amendment when you haven't done anything wrong. It absolutely is. If you haven't done anything wrong, you don't have to surrender your right to privacy, nor should you. And you should be offended if you're a real American when somebody asks you to surrender your right to privacy and you don't recognize it.
Alexandria 41, did you have traffic?
Permanent, I am 1023.
Clear.
Hey, it's got to be on him.
There's no way that we beat him and electrocuted him and he ain't on something. He didn't even do anything except say, stop beating me and that this is wrong and help.
There's a lockbox in the back.
That's gotta be where he keeps his kilos.
Hey, brother. Hey, that's a good fight. That's a good fight.
That brief, almost imperceptible, let me pause this. That brief, almost imperceptible look appears to be what counts as supervision training and disciplinary action in Chief McGuire's police department. I get them goosebumps every time.
He's got probes still in him. I only got one. He got something in this car. He's way too nervous.
He's nervous because gunmen like you are crazy, and people like Donut Operator act like you aren't doing anything wrong, when in fact you're all insane, literally insane. This is insane.
Okay, look at it. There's a, I know.
4012, I'm going to be testing vehicle maintenance momentarily.
He said, you come up here with a gun. I said, my gun's not out, but you take it out. We're on problems.
All right, I'm going to pause this for a second. It's difficult to hear over the radio chatter, but Everett lies to his boss, claiming he told Monte, if you touch that bat, we're going to have problems. That's true. He never said that. He may be setting up justification for his use of force over the baseball bat that Monte made a point of not concealing. Remember, they are in the parking lot of a baseball field. I get them goosebumps every time you are around.
What happened, Sunshine?
What happened, Sunshine? Here comes the guy that most likely called the police on a guy doing nothing illegal. This is James Randy Sizelove, a reserve member of the Summitville Police Department. Remember his name. At this time this video was filmed, Randy was the Summitville's fire chief. Every time you are around.
What happened, Sunshine?
Oh, it's a hell of a fight. You just missed it.
I told you this guy's nuts.
Yeah.
I told you this guy's nuts. So that tells you right there, he told him and he probably made the call. What makes him nuts? Exactly.
Very good one.
The only people acting nuts are you.
Y'all had to fight him, huh?
For a while.
3 years later, Randy Sizelove, Summitville Fire Chief charged with sexual misconduct with a minor. Arrested, James Sizelove, Summitville Fire Chief, charged with child sex crimes. Affidavit, ex-Summitville Fire Chief possessed nude photos of underage victim. Possession of child pornography, level 6 felony. Summitville picks only the best for its boys in blue.
Hey, there's a .22 caliber shell.
So that was the former police chief. To give you an idea of Summitville's, exemplary hiring procedures.
It's been shot, but it's right underneath there. I'm wondering if this is...
He writes under here, I wonder if this guy they were looking for, I wonder if this is the guy they were looking for, still desperately trying to impute culpability for something when the guy has done nothing wrong.
The guy they were looking for at 1700. Hey, you fucking tased the shit out of me.
Oh, we both got
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was fighting us hard.
Actually, he wasn't fighting at all. He was just holding his arms into his chest. I like how they think as fighting is any type of resisting at all. Is fighting to them. You guys couldn't win a fight if your life depended on it.
Long story to the fight. Just he walked up on him.
He wouldn't come out. So we cummed him out.
We cummed him out. He's trying to show bravado to a pedophile.
Okay, so I can't believe this guy. Something
tweaked on something. I was gonna ask you. He acts like he's all fucked up on something.
See, he writes again. Esquire Audits writes, they're still convinced Monte was on something. He wasn't. They are desperate for a justification of their violence, and they're not going to find it.
This is
some of the one, some of us who code 4.
He's over recycling an asshole.
Code 6.
1551.
Out you go, Way.
Go get yourself blood cleaned up. I'll keep looking. I'm going to charge him with... He's got scales.
Oh my God, he's got a scale. I'm going to charge him with everything. I'm going to charge him with Watergate, 9/11, Pearl Harbor.
I don't know who this kid is. He won't give us his name, so I don't give a fuck. I'll book his ass as fucking John Doe. He can sit down there. But there's something in... Oh, yeah. He's...
I can't believe he fought you. Now I feel bad for going home. I just figured he was drugged down.
I tased him in the car. I did nothing to him.
Yeah,
fucking nothing.
Another lie. Watch. Good job, Esquire Audits right here. You did nothing to him, right? Donut?
I'm getting out, please. I'm getting tasered. I can't move.
Ow. I did nothing to him at all. Monte's an innocent man, peacefully exercising his constitutional rights, was charged with resisting law enforcement, battery on a public safety official, disorderly conduct, and failure to ID. 7 charges. This is common practice of overcharging meant he sat in jail for more than 4 months because he couldn't afford bail. Finally, his public defender got a new bail hearing and he was released on his own recognizance. That means once a judge reviewed.
And then...
Well, he's going away now, isn't he?
Wrong again, pedophile. This is where I need my magnifying glass. Let me pause this video for a second because I do want to read what this says. Alright, so let's see what this says here. Got a giant motion to suppress evidence. Court grants the motion and orders that this action is hereby dismissed with prejudice. Alright. It took over 3 years, but finally a judge dismissed every charge. As you can see, dismissed. And the reason they probably wait 3 years is because it's a statute of limitations to sue. It's another tactic they play. They let the statute of limitations run out by not dismissing the case in time for you to sue the person for what the felonies they committed against you.
That's a blunt, isn't it?
Yep.
I can smell it.
Yep.
Just put that...
I smell these nuts, too.
Put that down there with that. It could be laced.
Yep. You're good.
It wasn't laced. Still desperately trying to justify their violence.
I haven't checked that safe box back there.
Back there.
I'm gonna go get a couple bags.
I ain't checked the lockbox back there. Get the airboat.
I don't think I have yet. I'm glad I got you in the fight.
Oh, yeah. Good fight. It was a good fight. It was a good fight.
It wasn't a good fight at all. You guys took 2 of you guys to handcuff one man who wasn't fighting you at all. All he was doing was pulling his arms in.
Got the shit taste
Because he didn't want to get kidnapped by you for no reason at all.
out of us.
He really believes this was a good fight. Since when does a good fight include grabbing and squeezing your opponent's balls? Isn't that literally what they mean by no hitting below the belt? Yeah, exactly. They couldn't be any more cowardly, these cops. And once the paramedics come on the scene, the only medical care Monte receives is that they remove the taser prong. The body cam ends here, but the story doesn't. It turns out Everett and McGuire have a history of violent arrest, leaving a trail of complaints and federal civil rights lawsuits for excessive force behind them. Please pause video. All right, let's pause this. This is Sears versus McGuire. Sean McGuire, right? Let's see. Let me get my magnifying glass out. Subjected to excessive force August 7, 2013. He claims that he complied with Marion Police Department Detective Sean McGuire's instructions to lie down on the ground. Nevertheless, Detective McGuire released his canine and allowed the dog to maul Sears' upper thigh and groin area. As a result of the attack, Sears suffers muscle and nerve damage, as well as the loss of his right testicle. That's nice. It's a nice police department we got here. Let's see what this says. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Got to rewind because it's very small. I can't see that. Let's see. Grant. The plaintiff leave to proceed against Detective Sean McGuire in his individual capacity for monetary damages for using excessive force against him. Petite versus Marion Police Department. What we got here? Excessive force. Officer Sean McGuire allegedly approached Pettit and shocked him in the back with a taser without any warning. According to Pettit, the officers then slammed him down on the sidewalk, kneed him in the side, causing injuries to his face and significant pain in his ribs. He was arrested for resisting law enforcement and disorderly conduct. After release from jail 4 days later, he went to the hospital and discovered he had broken ribs, which took 3 months to heal. He also alleges he has a permanent scar on his face due to the officer slamming him into the sidewalk. It's a nice police department we got here. And this isn't the rule. This isn't the exception. Believe me. This is how they're trained, people. All right. Magnifying glass. Claims that he was fully cooperative during these events and was not resisting, yet the officer slammed him face first into the sidewalk, shocked him with a taser, and broke his ribs. The sheriff leaves. The plaintiff leaves to proceed against Sergeant Tom Sisson and in their individual capacities. All right. Here's another case and another case. All in the 3 cases, the court threw out the officers in all 3 cases, the court threw out the officers' qualified immunity. And we all know how hard it is to meet that standard. Great video by Esquire Audits. Pause. But for Monte, it took the prosecutors over 3 years to dismiss his criminal charges. By that time, the statute of limitations had run out for filing a lawsuit. So Monte and his family sought justice from the Summitville Town Council. They organized a petition under the First Amendment, right to redress your grievances. They organized a petition which garnered over 200 signatures in a town of 947 people. That's more than 20% of the people of the town. And presented it at a well-attended town council meeting. I'm sure that the town council is going to take notice of over 20% of their population wanting these 2 guys to at least lose their job. All they wanted to do is lose their job, not get fired. Here's the petition. It says, petition for redress of grievances. Summitville Town Council. We, the undersigned, have watched body cam video of Deputy Chief Tom Everett and Chief Sean McGuire violently arrest Monte, blah, 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 on October 8th, 2017. Declare the following. We are outraged, disgusted by this horrific abuse of police power. We request a formal public apology from the town of Summitville to Monte Myers. We deserve professional, courteous police who follow the law, not sovereign citizens. Honor our constitutional rights, not despise them. Treat us with dignity and respect, not treat us like animals. And use the least amount of force necessary, not the most you can get away with lying about. We demand an official investigation into this incident conducted with transparency, open to the public comment and review of the findings. We want appropriate disciplinary action against the officers involved and up to and including termination of employment and or permanent prohibition from working in law enforcement again. Again, how about putting them in a cage like where they belong? Since they act like animals, put them in a cage like animals. But the town didn't apologize. They didn't open a formal investigation. They didn't discipline or terminate the officers involved. Instead, they issued a press release. Probably going to need the magnifying glass for that. There you go. All right, let's read this. Magnifying glass. Up. February 5th, 2021. Oh, recently. The Somerville Town Board made aware of this video about 3 weeks ago. Mr. Case was dismissed and the video showed up on YouTube. We immediately contacted the prosecutor's office to find out if there's any issues with our officers that we would be concerned about. We were assured that the video portrayed a rookie officer making rookie mistakes. Wasn't it the chief and the deputy chief? The arrest was October 2017. Officer Everett was fresh out of the police academy. Since this encounter, Officer Everett has undergone multiple extensive training with the blah 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 Force Science 5-day certification course as of April 2018. This specific course was focused on uncovering the unbiased truth and scientific reality surrounding police performance under stress action. All right. The council met on Monday, February 1st, and reviewed the body cam footage of the last 3 arrests made by Officer Everett. The difference in his professionalism from a 2017 incident and the current arrests are night and day. So what? He still committed felonies and a crime against somebody. We do not excuse the actions of the officer, but we have addressed them. We are also requiring the officer attend de-escalation training in March, attend diversity training course as well. The board are also working on the policy. Additionally, Officer Everett has also become a training officer due to his personal commitment. Deanna Stitt, President, Summitville Town Council. Oh, so he had to do 2 classes. Meanwhile, they ruined this guy's life. Isn't that nice? Isn't that beautiful? They chalked this one up to a rookie officer making mistakes and explained that Everett was fresh out of the police academy when this occurred. But public records request for Everett's academy records revealed the truth. He entered into the academy in 2013 and had worked for 2 other departments before Summitville hired him. In fact, he had been sworn officer in Summitville for nearly 2 years before he brutalized Monte. So all that was a lie too. What is this? Training history report. Yep, 2013. Let's see what we got next. I don't know what this is. I can't read that. Ow, just cut myself on the magnifying glass. What we got here? Yep, all 2013 training history report. The town council was notified that their public statement contained many misleading and inaccurate claims. They were asked to issue a correction. They did not. In fact, the town council knew that only 3 months before Monte was brutalized, Everett McGuire had another violent and unlawful arrest that resulted in a lawsuit. According to the plaintiff in that case, Everett saw his vehicle being driven that morning and knew he had a suspended license. With no arrest search warrants, Everett McGuire later came to his home, shut off the power to the house, entered his garage to take tools from it, which they used to break into his home. He had been sleeping because he works at night shift. He was ordered to walk backwards down his hall, his hands on his head, toward the officer's voice. When they told him to stop, that's when they jumped him from behind. He was pushed into a pony wall. I don't know what that is. And then onto the floor. He suffered 4 broken ribs. So, isn't that nice? These are good guys here. Chief and deputy chief. Chief and deputy chief. My goodness, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable, this video. By, again, Esquire Audits. Subscribe to Esquire Audits. Tell him I sent you. His wife later returned home, saw the damage to the front door, found evidence of a struggle in her home. With her husband nowhere to be found, she went into panic, fearing her home had been burglarized and her husband had been kidnapped. She said she was positively terrified. All this for suspicion of driving on a suspended license. It turns out that the car Everett had been using that morning was being driven by his wife, taking their son to a doctor appointment. He had not been driving at all. So it wasn't even him. It was his wife who was driving. The resulting lawsuit against both officers in the town of Summitville resulted in a large financial settlement in January 2020. Next. Since the town won't protect its citizens from these dangerous officers, maybe county prosecutors would charge them with crimes related to Monte's violent, unlawful arrest. Or at the very least, Everett signed under penalty of perjury an affidavit of probable cause that was contradicted by video evidence. Surely the prosecutors would be interested in that crime, right? Next. Esquire Audits. Subscribe. Oh, man. I got a magnifying glass this. Fire department and state. His demeanor was very argumentative. This is still hard to read even with the magnifying glass. I explained to him he had been called as a suspicion and that there was... Okay, I guess all the red stuff is where he's lying because I can't read it. It's too small. Sorry. John's coin rings. Among the more egregious falsehoods contained in the report claimed that Monte started to fight us from inside his vehicle. That's a lie. I deployed my taser that had little effect on him. That's a lie. Monte continued to fight. That's a lie. I initiated another charge with my taser. At this point, I realized my taser was having little effect on him. That's a lie. When he came out of the vehicle, Monte started to swing his right arm back in a motion to strike me with a closed fist. Dude, this guy's a piece of garbage. So let's see if that's true. There he goes. Hands open. Open right hand. Open left hand. Hands up. Hands up. Hands still up. Hands open, facing the ground. Criminal report regarding the officer's misconduct was filed with Sergeant Scott Jarvis of the Indiana State Trooper Office Criminal Investigation District 51. After speaking with the Madison County Prosecutor, Rodney Cummings, Sergeant Jarvis was told that they would not be opening an investigation. Emails and phone calls to Prosecutor Rodney Cummings asking him to reconsider were not returned. Check out his mission statement without fear of personal, professional, or political consequences. I can't read that. Prosecutor Rodney Cummings served as a police officer for 15 years before he became a prosecutor. Also, he was a cop too. Shocker. If you ask Monte's family and friends how they think this experience affected him, they all say the same thing. He's never been the same since and probably never will be. And that's true. You're not. Monte thinks he was tased a total of 5 times, including twice in the head, neck. He suspects suffered permanent brain damage as a result. He reports being denied medical care in jail. His mugshot shows injuries on the side of his head, he says, are from the taser, which I believe. There you go. Multiple public record requests for the police's use of force policy, taser, deployment of policy, disciplinary records, and other documents were repeatedly ignored in violation of Indiana Access to Public Records Act 5-14-3-1 et sec. Whatever that means. Here's the documents. More documents. I'm not reading them all. My voice is going caca. Formal complaints against the police department and town council were filed with Indiana's Office of Public Access Counselor, the state investigative agency that oversees unlawful denials of public record access. There they are. Probably got denied. After investigating the complaints, the Office of Public Access Counselor formally admonished the police department and town council, and they demanded they comply with the law. They probably still... My wife was calling me there, so sorry about the quick edit. I think I read this on the last part. Here we go. State of Indiana. I can't read that. Let's see what this says. Magnifying glass out. Dear Mr. Skies, formal complaint. I still can't read it with the magnifying glass. Public agency must cooperate with the law. Okay. As of the publication of this video, they have released nothing. So they're still not complying with the law. So it appears the corruption comes from the top down. For all those people who say it's just a few bad apples, shut the hell up with that nonsense. The bad apples are at the top and they rot out the rest of the apples. The county prosecutor does the bidding of the police. The town council lies to its citizens, engages in cover-ups, and protects dangerous officers. The records custodian blatantly ignores the law. The police chief not only doesn't intervene to de-escalate gross misconduct, but joins in. And both officers are given a free reign of terror with the full backing and endorsement of the local government. That's so factual it hurts. And that's typical of most cities in this country. And their police and their commissioners and their council people, they all do this stuff. This is nothing new. This is the rule. All on the and Indiana has no statewide office with oversight authority over local police departments, so they all get away with it. Since the police won't give us their taser deployment policy, we are left to refer to the manufacturer guidelines. Rule number 1, complete the required training form certified instructor before use. Let's take a look at their police academy records to see if they received proper training. That's McGuire. He also tased Monte. McGuire ranked 79 out of 89 students, which is 11th percentile, only best and brightest for Summitville PD. Also, can't do push-ups. Hold on. Just going by this kind of quick. Here are his complete ILEA transcripts. No, I can't read that. 1 hour. Taser annual. Oh, I gotta go back. Sorry. It shows 1 hour taser annual recertification class in 2015 for McGuire, but nothing before or since. That's not very annual, is it? How do you take an annual recertification once since 2008? And how about you qualify for a recertification class when there's no record of taking the introductory class? Now let's look at Everett's training. Here are his complete ILEA transcripts. Everett ranked 49 out of 133. That's known as a D-. Everett had 8 hours of taser training in 2013, 1 hour recertification class in 2014, and then nothing until 2020. So much for training. Rule number 2, target areas below the neck and avoid the head and throat. Also, incapacitation may occur from loss of muscle control. Rule number 3, the taser. Many cause serious injury or death. Hold on. Provide medical care as needed. So tasers can kill you, people. Rule number 4, to reduce the risk of death or serious injury, minimize the number and duration of taser exposures. Avoid simultaneous taser exposures and minimize cumulative effects of the total duration of exertion and stress experienced by the subject. I get them goosebumps every time you are around. Perhaps Monte should feel grateful that their cavalier and reckless use of the taser didn't kill him. Reuters reported that 1,018 U.S. deaths from police tasers as of 2018. Taser International reports 94% of police deputies carry tasers, which are deployable 325,000 times per year. That's 900. So they electrocute people 900 times a day. 900 times a day, police electrocute people. That's a lot. And they kill 3 people a day. The consequences of spending 4 months in jail left Monte financially devastated. With his life in ruin, he lost everything and is now homeless. To this day, he suffers from debilitating PTSD, pain from dislocated shoulder during the arrest that went untreated in jail, and brain injury he suspects is from the taser strikes to his head that affects his ability to work and take care of himself. Monte needs help. I think I pressed play. Yeah.
People, help me! Somebody stand up!
Will you stand up for Monte? Again, Audit the Audit says you shouldn't yell help when police are doing that to you because it's an officer safety issue. He's not worried about the citizen safety. Only the officers who are violating every law and common sense notion that it was ever embedded into a small child's brain. I'll put the link in the description for him. There are 2 things you can do. Call or write to the officials in power to demand accountability so the system of corruption abuse doesn't continue. Press pause on your video to capture the following. Here's the town council. I'll read it. Where did my magnifying glass go? Write or call Summitville Town Council to tell them what you think at 765-536-2802. Credit from the Summitville website. So you got Jeremy Mason, council member, representative at large. Email jmason@summitville.in.gov. You got Bart Matney, council member, represents District 3. B. Matney@summitville.in.gov. Michelle Morrison, District 2, email mmorrison@summitville.in.gov. Melissa Stanley, council member, represents at large. mstanley@summitville.in.gov. Deanna Stitt, council member, District 1, email dstitt with 2 T's at the end @summitville.in.gov. Chief of Police. Oh, let's go back. I was fast. He wants us to pause. It's not playing. There's that. And here's the Chief of Police, Sean McGuire. Let's see what it says up top here. Write or call the Summitville Police Department to tell them what you think. Interesting side note. Everett's contact info has since been removed from the PD website, even though he still works there. Probably because he's getting too many complaints about this body cam footage. Credit Summitville website. Chief of Police Sean McGuire, telephone 765-536-2412. His fax is 765-536-4635. His email is smcguire@summitville.in.gov. And the deputy chief, both the disgusting people in this video. Telephone number 765-536-2412. His email is teverett@summitville.in.gov. Remember, these are the 2 pieces of garbage in the video that did this to this man. There you go. Write or call county prosecutor to tell him what you think. R. Cummings at madisoncounty.in.gov. Prosecutor Rodney Cummings, 765-641-9585. Here's the commissioners. Write or call Madison County Commissioner, 765-641-9470. And County Council, 765-641-9482 to tell them what you think. Maybe I'll call them tomorrow or Saturday or Monday. Who's this now? Sheriff Scott Mellinger, 765-646-9290. Write or call him. Sheriff@madisoncounty.in.gov. One of his deputies, D. Hyatt, assisted in Monte's arrest. Oh, nice. What we got here? Madison County Sheriff Deputy Hyatt assisted in the arrest instead of arresting the criminals who committed the felonies against the human. Monte recently retained an attorney in the Indianapolis who was trying to overcome the statute of limitations so Monte could file a lawsuit. On February 22nd, 2021, the attorney filed a tort claim notice with the town of Summitville, the county that runs the jail in the state. Goosebumps every time. As of the release of this video, no lawsuit has been filed. It's unclear if Monte will ever receive monetary compensation, but even if he does, it's likely years away. Monte desperately needs financial help now, so if you can help get him back on his feet, if so, here's a second thing you can do. Throw him $5 or $10 at this link, GoFundMe/F/help-Monte/ I'll put the link in the description. Randy Sizelove, the guy who probably called the police in the first place, the pedophile, was a reserve police officer at the time his child's sex crimes were alleged to have occurred. He was given courtesy of being permitted to turn himself in to the Madison County Jail on 11/20/20. He was immediately released on bond. So camera people and people who stand up for their rights, they get the full force of the police on them. But pedophiles, they release immediately and let them turn themselves in. This is who you got working for you as police people. Don't forget that. Goosebumps. Randy wasn't beaten, tased, or have his testicles squeezed, and he didn't spend 4 months in jail before he bonded out. Yet he is charged with 5 serious felonies, including child solicitation, sexual misconduct with a minor, and possession of child pornography, a level 6 felony. By contrast, Monte was accused of suspicious activity, which is still not a crime. This is disgusting, man. I can't believe this is America.
Well, he's He's going away now, isn't he?
Actually, Randy, it looks like you're the one going away, you sick pedophile. There you are. That'll be the screenshot. 1 down, 2 to go is right. Chief McGuire and Deputy Chief Everett both remain employed and on active duty as sworn officers for Summitville PD. If you can believe that. This video is not monetized or report share widely, but if you make edits, please include the clip from Monte's GoFundMe page. That's the end of this, guys. So there you go. Good job, Esquire Audits. Please subscribe to Esquire Audits. Let's see how many... He's gotten a substantial amount of subs since yesterday's video. Please subscribe to him. Get him up to 1,000 so he could live stream and become an auditor extraordinaire like so many of the other ones out there. I am John Filax, or Filax, if you're hooked on phonics. Click on my links down below. I sell t-shirts. I sell rings. I make rings out of silver coins. They're awesome. They last forever. And they never lose their value. They will always be worth something, unlike stocks and crypto, for the most part anyway. That's it. Thanks for watching. This is disgusting. Let's get on these Summitville. I don't even know what state it's in, but Summitville. Let's do something. Let's make calls. Let's email. Let's do mass emails, mass calls. Let's start maybe tomorrow or Monday. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.